Hi guys, so I'm very excited to share another really lovely commission with you. This is a set of rather very special makes which I really enjoyed working on, and these ones are featured in Simply Cards and Papercraft magazine issue 271. So for the makes that I'm going to show you now, I did not use the goodies that come with this month's issue, but I'm going to show you just in case you would like to know what you're getting. So you would get an embossing folder which is 4 by 4 inches square and has the lovely art deco design on it, and you also get a gold gilding wax from Colorology. And that's it. Now if you have the gilding waxes or some of them, I'm going to show you. I have the copper one before. This one is a bit smaller than the original one, but this one comes free with the magazine, and I really am delighted to have the gold one because I was trying to buy it and it was sold out back then. So yeah, that's a big win for me. What I want to show you, my makes for this issue of the magazine were makes for weddings. Wedding season is upon us, and here is some inspiration for you. I genuinely loved working on these. I'm going to just very quickly show you what I made because I'm going to attach the video I recorded just after I finished making all these, and I'll walk you through and show you exactly how I made each one of these. So the first one is a favor box. So this one is a good size box, and you can see how my colorway, I'm going to actually put up here the colorway that I had to work with. So you can see all the lovely colors and the blues, teals, they really go well together. And I absolutely love the striking contrast between the colors. So for the box, I created an ombre look for both of the lid and the base, corals, and then the blues and teals on the lid. I wrapped acetate around it. I don't know if you can see, pick up on that acetate pouch in there. And I punched holes through that to tie the bow and then add my tag that says thank you. And I just used some stamp flowers and leaves foliage in there to finish decorating. Also added some hearts, gold hearts in there. My second make was a placement card, which is, I believe it was 2.5 by 4 inches folded over. So it's quite a lovely size to set as a little tent fold on the table to mark everyone's place. And you can see how I brought gold in to each of these to added gold to my colors, either in heat embossing or mirror gold card, which I will show you in a minute. So in here I added some heat embossing all around it, and also the name was heat embossed. I used Spellbinder's Vivid Blooms die set to cut out the flowers, and then I used Distress Oxide inks to color everything in. And you can see how lovely that turned out. I finished it off with some white pearls, which I think are perfect for wedding makes. This one in here is a candle wrap, a table favor, or you can also add this into your thank you gift. So in here you can see a front view of it, that gorgeous flower. I think it's beautiful, but it is wrapped around the candle like with a lacy band. I will show it to you in the video that I'm going to attach to this, and you'll see it in more detail. And I think it's very clever and very beautiful. Again, I used this large flower stamp and die set. The top layer is from acetate with glitter, and then I added some foliage, and I used those same colors all across the 5 makes that I'm showing you today. How beautiful is that? So for make number 4, made an invite, a wedding invite. So this consists of a pocket and then a booklet. This booklet opens up to reveal the details of the wedding inside. So you can see how I used gold mirror cardstock in here to add to my colors. I used that same flower stamp and die set as I used on the candle wrap in here. Only this time I heat embossed it with white instead of the gold. And I used some eucalyptus die cut leaves. Some lacy detail on the pocket, and I used an oval die to cut away this space, but I did not throw that away. I used that on the booklet together with the other part of that lacy detail. So it's a lovely matching set, really nice. And the pocket is quite roomy, so it's quite bouncy, and you can add so much more than the booklet itself. You can add your RSVP cards or the save the date cards or whatever it is that people would be adding to those your little presents. There's a little more wriggle room to work with. And then my final make is this menu. I think it is gorgeous. So again, I used the same floral die set from Spellbinders as I used on the name tag. And I printed the menu, cut it to size, trimmed it down to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 of an inch. Then I ink blended just very lightly Abandoned Coral on these 2 corners. Die cut all the flowers from white cardstock, added my colors using the ink pads. By the way, all the ink pads that I used for all of these makes were Speckled Egg Uncharted Mariner, Abandoned Coral, Saltwater Taffy, and Tattered Rose. The only thing I used for coloring is the brush markers from Spectrum Noir for this part of the flowers and foliage. But everything else was done by Distress Oxidings and gold embossing powder or white embossing powder. So then I glued on all the flowers in these 2 different arrangements, trimmed away any overhanging excess, and that finished it off. And I really do think this is a wonderful set of makes. I would love to know if you've ever crafted for weddings. I've made a lot of wedding cards before in a few table flavors, not too many. These ones were very enjoyable makes for me. I genuinely loved, because I love the colorway. I think this is one of my favorite colorways to work with, the corals with the greens and the teals. And I think they are lovely and elegant. I would love to know if you're crafting for a wedding, and if you would like to take some inspiration or a little bit of help, please do let me know in the comment section below. I would love to help, maybe even recording a tutorial to some of these. So I really hope that you will enjoy my video that I'm going to attach to this one now, and I'll see you back soon. This one was just so exciting to work with. I love crafting for weddings, and this one was my first ever commission for wedding stuff for the magazines, so I was really excited to receive this one. So for my first make, I made a candle wrap. As you can see, it's wrapped around that candle. I can remove it and show it to you. So it's sitting nice and tight on that candle, so it wouldn't just fall off. And you can see that lovely white lace wrap. And it is attached to acetate, so it's nice and sturdy, stands up all by itself. I think it's a really lovely embellishment for the candle. And I have that lovely flower. I'm not sure if you can pick up on that glitter. There's an acetate layer on the top, and I've added glitter to that. I'll try to take some close-ups after this. It's quite dark in here now, so the lighting isn't the best. But you can see how I added all that foliage, and then a sparkly gem in the middle. And wraps around this candle just absolutely beautifully. Put the lid back on. How gorgeous is this? I really am excited about these. Oh, so my second make was a name tag. So it's a little name tag that you put on the desk, and I use Spellbinders Vivid Blooms flowers for this one. I die cut everything from white card, colored in with Distress Oxidings, heat embossed the name, heat embossed around the edges of this mat in the embossed some of the middle of the flowers, and added some little white pearls, and I think it's beautiful. The little letters are from Crafter's Companion, one of the mini die sets. So this is gorgeous, and it is matching with colors, as you can see. I really love the colorway that I was given to work with. For project number 3, I made a favor box. So I did all the ink blending. I'm going to try to pull this up, but I won't be able to remove it unless I undo the bow, which I don't want to do. But this is a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 of a box with a lid, and it sits on nice and snug. So it's quite a roomy box for some wedding favors. I added some heat embossed white, gold hearts in there, as you can see. It's a die set from Creative Expressions that I picked that out of. I have this acetate wrap coming right up to the top. I hope you can pick up on that. You can just about see it in there, and it just looks so nice on it, I think. And then I punched some holes on the top of the acetates, joined them up with this ribbon, just tied that bow, and then I die cut the larger, no, both of them from white card, but for the smaller one first I printed out my message, thank you for celebrating with us, and I just made up some names and a date. For the flowers and the foliage, I used the Gift of Flowers stamp set by Creative Craft Products, and I colored, heat embossed the flowers with gold, colored them in using brush markers by Spectrum Noir. I stamped the leaves and the foliage in Uncharted Marina, and then I heat embossed with clear embossing powder. I layered the top oval, the one that I printed onto, and then I die cut with the scalloped oval onto a top that I had, onto an oval that I had inked up with speckled egg. And then I added a gold eyelet with a bit of a twine. I tied it to the bow, and I think it looks so lovely. I really love that ink blending that's going on the box. I think it's lovely with the contrasting colors. I really love that. So that's my project number 3. Project number 4 is a wedding invite. Just look at that high tail. Okay, so I created first of all the pocket. Okay, so it has the full size backing and the half size pocket, to which I added a curve. So I created a pocket, and then I used an oval die, just the side of an oval die. I'm going to show you in here. I still have the cards attached to it. Haven't tied it up yet since I finished these projects. So I took that pocket, and with the straight edged one, actually with this one, I die cut this curve into it. Then I took a slightly narrower gold card, and I just traced with the around the curve with pencil, and then I cut it out with scissors. For the lovely lacy details, I used the die from Chloe's Creative Cards, and it is the floral lacy die. It is so gorgeous. I backed it up on some card which had double-sided sticky sheet on it, and then anything that was exposed I sprinkled up with crystalline. You can pick up on all that glitter a little bit in there, but I will add some close-ups at the end, as I said. And it is so lovely and sparkly and glittery. And I again traced around the edge along the curve, cut it with my scissors. Then I took the two together, to cut out this frame, cut it to size, and I layered everything up on top of the pocket. I did not throw away the bits that were left over either from the lacy background or from the gold frame. I will show you in a wee second. So this is a summer flower die set, stamp and die set for Chloe's Creative Cards. Just heat embossed with white, inked over it with my corally colors. And then these foliage, the eucalyptus leaves, are actually from an older issue of Die Cutting Essential magazine, and I love those eucalyptus leaves. I used the speckled egg and the Uncharted Mariner to create that two-toned look. I added them just going cascading kind of from the left top to the right bottom, and then I finished off with some gold rhinestones. Now, to go inside the pocket, I created my invitation booklet. On the inside, obviously, I just printed out the date, the location, and everything's just made up, obviously. And for the front, I inked up the front of that booklet with saltwater taffy distress oxiding. And to do that, I just added a scrap piece of card on the inside. And it's very easy to ink up and not mess up the inside of the card. For the mat in here, I'm going to give you the measurements of this. So this booklet measures 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. So this white mat 5 1/2 by 5 inches. and I printed, we invite you to join us as we celebrate, and again made up some names. And the Our Wedding stamp is heat embossed, and it's again from the same set as this eucalyptus came in from Die Cutting Essential Magazines 98. It was quite an older one, it's not a new one, but I've never used this stamp, so I was quite excited because I remember that I had it and I love the font on it. So you may remember that I told you that I didn't throw away the bit that I cut away from here. I added it onto the inside, so now it's matching, and I really love that. And again, I just used the speckled egg on these foliage in here. I kind of went with the lighter tones for the insert, well, with the darker ones for the outside. And this slides in nicely into the pocket. And how lovely is that invitation? You can of course add some more to it. The pocket is quite roomy. I did not, when I created the pocket, when I folded over the tabs to attach it to the back of the card, I did not burnish them, I did not reinforce the fold lines, I just gently folded them up, so it's quite bouncy and roomy. I really love that. And last but not least, for my project number 5, I've created a menu. So this piece of card measures 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Yeah, 6 3/4. I printed the menu onto it, then very gently with abandoned coral I ink blended on the 2 corners, and then I went ahead and die cut lots of flowers and foliage from the Spellbinders Vivid Blooms die set. It's the same one as I used on the little name tag or place card. I used all the Distress Oxidings, so it was Tattered Rose, Saltwater Taffy, Abandoned Coral, Speckled Egg, and Uncharted Mariner that I worked with. I added the color to all the flowers and the foliage, then I arranged them in the 2 corners in there, and I just cut away all the excess and it tidies it up so nicely. How lovely is that menu? I really like how this turned out. So I'm going to show you the full set of the 5 makes. So this was project number 5, project number 4, project number 3. Oopsie, hope you can pick up in there. Hope I can fit everything into the camera here. Project number 2. And finally, project number 1. I think this is such a lovely set of wedding related items. I would love to know if you like these, if you ever craft for weddings, if you ever create anything like this. I have to say I really am loving the bold colors, the contrast in the colors. More often than not, when I craft for weddings, if I'm asked to do cards or anything else, I'm really going for softer colors, or white and golds and all. This here was definitely such a lovely medicine to my heart, because I just loved everything from start to finish on these 5 projects. I really hope that you like too, and if you did, please do not forget to give me the like button. Stay tuned because I'll show you some close-up images now, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you would like to see some makes like these, and if you would like me to recreate any of these, just do pop me a message in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I will be back soon with a different tutorial or project share. Until then, bye!